All right, all right. We're a little late. We're a little late. And I got to say this right off the bat, okay? If you guys can hear the AC, you're just going to have to deal with it. You really are. I'm going to melt in here otherwise. So, yeah, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of New Comic Weekly, the only show that I can tell, okay? Other people do stuff like this, but this is the only one that I can tell to get you fully ready for a new comic book day. Today, we're talking about New Comic Book Day, July 15th. We're going to be talking about all of the pulls on my pull list, okay? So a lot of things I'm looking to pick up. Looks like we have about 13 pulls on the pull list. Some stuff from Marvel Comics. DC, of course, has a lot of absolutes coming out. And then even the indies are hitting pretty hard this week. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, we get into the collected editions that are coming out this week as well. And if I'm jumping over to them, you guys are going to see a ton of different collected editions. From trade paperbacks, of course, DC Finest, but from Marvel, we also have a lot of different stuff. Image Comics, got IDW putting out some releases. So we're going to get into all of the more notable collected editions and hardcovers, of course, that are coming out. A lot of Omnis. You guys see, we got DC Omni, DC Omni, DC Omni, Marvel Omni. We even have some deluxe editions. We have some absolutes from DC as well. So we're going to get into the whole thing after we talk about the pull list. And then we talk about the FOCs. So jumping over on the app. But the FOCs we're talking about wouldn't be for this week. The ones we're talking about are for the next week. Okay, so July 22nd, New Comic Book Day. That's the deadline to get all of these on your pull list. As we're seeing, Batman's going to be fighting Clayface. Absolute, of course. Absolute Catwoman number 3. We got some cool Daredevils. Both of them are on FOC. I don't know what that means or what's up with that. And then, of course, we're going to flip it to the number ones. So here are the number ones on FOC before next week. So make sure, Chewy Queso down in the chat, make sure you put these on your pull list, dude. No, I'm just joking. But dynamic duos, man, we're going to get into that for sure. Not so many number ones. Not so many number ones on FOC. And then, of course, we like to do comic book reviews here, too. Let's see if this worked. I didn't test it before I started the stream. Hold on. That wasn't so bad. Okay, so comic reviews. I read the whole pull list, man. I've been a good boy. I read the whole thing, so I got some fresh, hot reviews for you guys. Probably going to be, not the most in-depth reviews. We'll see. You guys know I like to yap. But there we go. Whoa, Croc Comic, your birthday's tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday. I'm, of course, not going to be streaming tomorrow, so I won't be able to tell you happy birthday. But happy early birthday. That's pretty cool. Let me know how old you... Well, no, don't tell me how old you turn. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Also, guys, you guys see this? We're moving stuff around here. We're always evolving. You guys see over here, there's no TV. You guys might be saying, what the heck, Kody? Where's that TV? TV's over there, okay? So now, when I'm playing games and stuff here, on this monitor that I'm looking at you guys on right here, while I'm playing games, I got the TV on the side. That way it's not behind me, right? Because when I was playing games here, and you got stuff going on behind you, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I moved the whole thing, and I think what I'm going to do here, I have a 3x3, if you guys have seen my room tours, okay? I think I'm going to move that 3x3 here, so that'll give me more room for collected editions behind me. And then I'll move the 2x2 here. I'll put it kind of perpendicular to my desk, okay? And no one's going to care about this but me, okay? But that way I can use both sides of the Billy 2x2. Is that a Billy? No, it's not a Billy. That's a Kalex, right? So I can use both sides of it. Because you know how down in Omar's library, he has he's double siding the Kalexes, you know what I mean? So to maximize your Kalex, because you're only really using half of them to push everything forward. There's still a whole bunch of room in the back. So that's my plan. So I can have more collected editions behind me. Because, right, you guys see I'm overfilling. You know what I mean? That's the Ed Brubaker shelf. We got to display Ed Brubaker stuff a little bit more have some shelf presence. You know what I mean? You got to have a nice looking shelf. It can't be looking so sloppy. So that's going to be the plan. So TV over there. And also I was thinking there might be like something I can do, thinking of like a new format of video where like the TV's on behind me and like the stuff that you need to look at's like behind me. And then like maybe I'm holding the mic and I'm scrolling through. There's like a slideshow behind me. You know what I mean? Something like that. But so we got the TV over there for that possibly. But yeah, Croc Comic, of course, dude. We're gonna give you a shout out in the actual video once we get started for sure, for sure. Of course, that's what we're gonna do for New Comic Weekly. If you guys missed it, we've got the comic book pull list. Okay, I'll just run it through real quick. So we got the comic book pull list. We have the collected editions that are coming out this week. There's a ton of stuff. Just scrolling through really quickly. We got the trade paperbacks and the hardcovers we're going to be talking about. Then we got the FOCs for next week. Give you guys a full week to get those subscriptions in. And then we got the comic book reviews. So pack New Comic Book Day. Hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate a like if you're watching this. It goes out to other people's feeds. Maybe they want to tune in and hear some good comic book goodness. I don't know. Anyways. But of course, we like to chat with the chat as well. If you guys are watching live, we're chatting with the chat. Hold on. Let me press this button here. Okay. Let me make sure. Hold on. I got to check something before we get like really rocking and rolling. If you guys caught my video yesterday where I talked about my July TBR, there's a lot of footage in that one. I don't know if you guys could tell. Trying something a little new. So I got to make sure it didn't fill up my computer. Because if it fills up my computer while I'm streaming here, okay. Nah, we got 120 gigs, dude. We're good. We're golden. We are golden, dude. Let's see. Croc Comic. I'll be posting this video on Tuesday. I think tomorrow the plan is to do an Absolute Universe News. I haven't done an Absolute Universe News in a long time. If you guys are paying attention, there just hasn't been like a ton of news. But my plan is probably talking about Absolute Aquaman and like just theorizing stuff that could happen before San Diego Comic-Con. You know what I mean? So that's the plan. Because that episode will be out on Monday. And then I think on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, is the Absolute Universe panel. So that Monday I can cover whatever comes out of the San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah. Sal's Comic. I got some nice outdoor reading spots. I'm very fortunate, dude. I'm very fortunate. And that's all within like a walk from my apartment. You know what I mean? So I just take a short little walk and I'm in the woods enjoying that nice little pond, that nice little, it's not a lake, I guess. I'd call it a pond, but yeah, it's nice over there. It's nice over there. It's nice over there. No. Anything else I'm forgetting? Anything else I'm forgetting? Oh, I didn't say hi to ADC27. Hey, what's up? How's it going? All right, let's just get into it, dude. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let me hit stop recording here. Actually, let me get it ready on my phone first. You guys know how it is. It's a little messy, you know. There's always some technical difficulties too. I'm sure there'll be some technical difficulties here in a second. I gotta be honest with you guys. I was asleep at like 10 o'clock a.m. I was asleep like an hour ago. So I'm still waking up a little bit. Pizza Punk does the peace sign. What's up, Pizza Punk? Let's see. Okay. Got that ready. Let's hit stop recording here. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, this could have been very bad, guys. Good thing I caught it. Good thing I caught it. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, dude. That would have made me... You guys would have seen me crash out so hard, dude. Hold on. Let me go like this. Mute the Osmo mic. And unmute the Logitech. Dude, that... Literally, guys... You guys would have seen the crash out of the year, man. Hold on. Screen share. Osmo mic. Okay. I think that's it. There we go. And also, I gotta repeat. I gotta reiterate, all right? I gotta reiterate. If you can hear the AC, I don't care, dude. I literally don't care. I'm gonna melt. I'm gonna melt, guys, if I don't have this AC on, all right? So I have to keep it on. Just so you know. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to hit stop recording here. Okay. And then we'll hit start recording. All right, you guys ready to do it? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of New Comic Book Weekly. This time we're talking about the new comic book day for July 17th. If you're not watching live like the good folks down here, I stream every single Sunday. I'm streaming to all these good folks. And we like to talk about the new comic book day pull list, of course. So July 15th, new comic book day. Here's what I'm pulling. We're going to get into it in a little bit more detail. A lot of great stuff from Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and the indies are hitting pretty hard as well. And then we're talking about all the collected editions that are coming out as well. So we got a lot of cool stuff. Let me scroll down. Variants, get out of here. We got a lot of trade paperbacks. You guys are seeing them. Some DC Finest. We got some stuff from IDW. In addition to the trades, of course, we got the hardcovers. We got a ton of Omnis, all right? DC Omni, 1, 2, 3. We even got some Marvel Omnis. We got some Absolute editions, some Deluxe editions, ton of different collected editions we're going to go over. And then we're covering the FOCs. Of course, these are going to be the FOCs for the next week. Give you guys a full week to get ready for these, to put it on your pull list. Let your comic shops know as I'm scrolling through. If anything here looks interesting, make sure to put it on your pull list. We're going to focus it down, though, to the new number ones. So the brand new number one series that are starting up that you guys want to get on your pull list. Make sure the series is on your pull list. That way you get issue 2. That way you get issue 3. Set it and forget it. We're also talking about some comic book reviews. Everything I read last week for new comic book days, you guys are seeing. Absolute Batman, that's the origin of Harley Quinn in the Absolute. We got Rascal Randy, new number 1 from the Exquisite Corpses universe. We got Absolute Catwoman, a lot of great stuff from Marvel, DC, got some Energon universe, got some Vertigo. So a lot of great comics that we're going to be reviewing. And of course, that's New Comic Weekly. Every single week I'm doing it. If you guys enjoy that, I'd appreciate a like. I'd appreciate a hype if you really, really enjoy it. And with that being said, let's start off with the pull list. I'm really excited about all my different pulls while I still can pull them from Casablanca Comics. If you guys have been keeping up with the saga, of course, we're switching up comic shops. I got more details on that coming up, right? But let's get into the pull list as it stands right now. We got some Absolute Green Arrow number 3. Dinah is on the trail of the Green Arrow killer. Pornsak, Pichette Cho, and Raphael Albuquerque just killing this series. I gotta say, though, I'm not liking this one as much as Absolute Catwoman, surprisingly. I like the kind of vibe of Absolute Catwoman a little bit more, but as this series leans more into the serial killer, kind of the horror nature of it, I think it can climb up on my list. It's just right off the start, I'm liking Absolute Catwoman a little bit more. Absolute Flash is a series that more people need to be talking about. It's high up on what people are pulling on League of Comic Geeks, but I feel like my community doesn't talk about it at all. Absolute Flash number 17. Can Grodd be saved? The Flash and the Rogues, you guys heard me, the Rogues, they're going to be working to liberate Colorado from Grodd's control, but can they save Grodd as well as the town? And we have Henning coming in to do the art, not Nick Robles. That's all right, though, because I really like Henning's style. It's still got the same coloring from Adriano Lucas, so it keeps that, congruency. Is that a word? I might have just invented a new word, dude. Congruency? Anyways, I love Jeff Lemire. He's killing it. You guys know I have a ton of Jeff Lemire series on my TBR for the month of July. And let's jump into the chat real quick. Wrong button. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, scrolling up. Sleep, stream, repeat. Yeah, I want to fit in more streams, but man, it's tough. I got a comment. Actually, he might not be in the chat. Someone was DMing me or someone was commenting. They're asking about the Lego Batman streams. Dude, I've just been busy every single Saturday morning. It's tough. It's very tough. And yeah, Croc Comic. I got to give you a shout out so I don't want to forget. I'm off center. Yeah, I'm off center. It's one of those things. I also didn't hit the freaking record button over here, bro. Let me just hit it right now, dude, so I don't freaking forget, dude. Oh my lordy lord. I hear mine over anything else. I don't know what that means, Pizza Punk. Sorry, I must be missing something. I hope I get some comics for your birthday. Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. And then you could let me know what you got for your comic book haul. That'd be cool. Let's see. The Absolute White Knight. I haven't read anything Sean Gordon Murphy White Knight, the Batman universe, dude. I gotta dive in and see what the hype's all about. I think I have him in deluxe, or I at least have the first one in deluxe. I gotta get on it. Am I late, Lisa? It might be a little late. Not too bad. New here. Do I dabble in variant covers? I get that question sometimes. You know, I don't dabble in variant covers very much at all. I'm a cover A guy. You know what I mean? I guess for me, if I think about variants, like it would have to be an artist that I really like. I don't want to have two of the same comic. I very rarely want to have two of the same comic. So that's why I don't get variants. Like you could get the variant of the series I'm pulling, but like something about like having all cover A's from the same artist, they all match, bro. I don't know, man. Something about that is more appealing to me than like if I look at all my Batmans and each one is not a Jorge Jimenez cover, it's like jumping all around. I'd be like, what the heck's going on, dude? You know what I mean? That like raises my heart rate thinking about that. Like if all my Batman comics were not from the same artist, like in my box, dude. Jesus Christ. Just kicking off the pull list. I always love starting with the pull list. Did I miss the whole thing? Nah, you're on time. YouTube didn't tell me. Well, so that's probably because I was like, I woke up at 10 like I was saying, and I'm like, dude, do I start streaming at 11, bro? I feel like I need more time to get ready. Then I'm like, let's just do it at 11. So I scheduled the stream like 5 minutes before going live. So I didn't really give time, a lot of time for people to hit their notifications and stuff like that. That cover of the Flash is fire. Got to jump onto Absolute Flash again. The Absolute Flash series, man, ever since I would say after issue 6, like once the first arc ended, it's literally been nonstop and it's been getting like faster and faster and faster. So in that sense, Jeff Lemire is he's flashing it up. He's like speeding up, like the momentum is with the series. It's getting better and better. Is the Spider-Man new? We'll get into it. Croc. I don't think it's new. I think that one's an omnibus that's a re-release, I think. DC beats Marvel in giving the cover A underneath the variant. Sal Comics, that's true. That is true. So like I wouldn't be missing the cover A. That's a good point. You know what though? Almost. I kind of want DC to just like, I don't know why they don't do it, but if you just put out like the variants as like a print. If it was just a print, I might get them if it was a print. Like a high quality print that's like thick. That's maybe like $2 or something like that. Like I'd buy that versus the comic because I wouldn't read the comic if I already have the cover A. Does that make sense, dude? Does that make sense, guys? Love the channel. Just released a comic anthology of my own on Kickstarter, fully funded. Congrats on that, man. Congrats on that. My Berserker collection is all different covers and I absolutely hate it. So that's what I'm saying, Pizza Punk. That's what I'm saying, bro. That would drive me nuts. Even if I never see it and I just know it in the back of my mind, I wouldn't be able to live like that, guys. I wouldn't be able to live like that. What comic should I get for Christmas? What comic should I get for Christmas, bro? Lisa, that's a good question. What comic should Lisa get for Christmas? Maybe like some Miles Morales stuff or like Ultimate Spider-Man. If you could get Ultimate Spider-Man, not the new one, the old one, that's what you should get because that would like blow your mind. I'm gonna write that down. Yo, Pizza Punk, I'm writing that down, bro. Prints instead of variants because like, you know, variants are cool, but like I'd buy the print. If it was $2, I'd come home with like a stack. I would literally come home with a stack of prints, bro. No joke. Like I would spend like $10 a week on prints, probably. I don't know, man. Something to think about. The Spider-Man on your mic. Oh, on my mic. Yeah. I love that Spider-Man, dude. Is the Spider-Man new? So this guy I've had ever since I was a little kid. I used to bring this guy with me all the time. It's a plushie. So it's squishy. I used to like I just put it in my pocket all the time. Maybe some image or indie chat. Let me know what comic should I get for Christmas. Yeah, help Lisa out in the chat. That could be cool. That could be cool. Croc comic likes Spidey. He's a nice guy. Actually, let me see if I can find this picture really quick. We're just hanging out, guys. We'll get back to the pull list here in a second. If you guys are longtime viewers, you know we just jibber jabber here on this program. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the Spider-Man being held up by Chip Zdarsky, bro. Like I can't just search Chip Zdarsky. Man, how would I find this picture? Where did I take it? The picture was taken. It must have been. I think it was C2E2, bro. Let me look at C2E2. Let me see. No, don't say C2E2. It's got to be at C2E2. So look, Chicago. Okay, so here's one with Omar. Okay, so I'll show you this one. Here's one with Omar. Here, let's get Christian out of there. We don't care about that guy. My co-host for Color Break. I don't know why it looks so weird. But there's Omar. Near mint condition or very fine condition. If you're friends with him, you can call him that. That's me and Spidey. And Christian is there too. Hold on, wrong button. And then hold on, let me find the one. Okay. Here's one, right? Here's one where the Spidey is getting like beat up by the Shocker and stuff. Okay. I kind of did like a flat Stanley thing. Like when I was at C2E2, I got a ton of people to take pictures with. Whenever I saw a Spider-Man, I'm like, yo, can you hold this? Can you take a picture of this? Let's see. Oh, here's a pretty good one. But here's the problem with Spider-Man cosplayers. Man, if you cosplay Spider-Man, y'all need to fix your junk, bro. Y'all are junking out. Y'all are bulging out. There's kids at these conventions, bro. You can't be bulging out. So it makes it tough posting these online because everybody's fucking looks terrible. Sorry I cussed. So there's a Venom. There's a Venom looking like that. And then hold on, I gotta find the one with the legend. Let me see. Here it is. Here he is. Y'all know who this is, right? This is Chip Zdarsky, and this was back during the Chip Zdarsky Batman era. I got Chip Zdarsky to hold little Spidey. Oh, so cute. We love Chip Zdarsky here on the channel. Oh, we love it. Wait, how is that possible, bro? Wait, how long have I been streaming? Okay, 23 minutes. I just got really confused. The recording thing down here says 13. That's why I was confused. All right, let me jump back into the chat. I'm missing stuff. I'm really just going down memory lane here. Hold on. let me back it up. Let's see. Comic shops need to sell more prints. Cause like, here's the thing. Don't be selling. Cause here's the thing, dude. Think about it. Okay. Think about it. You go to your comic shop, they might have posters. Posters are cool. Don't get me wrong. Posters are cool. But who's got that much space for posters, bro? You can only have a couple posters on your wall. You don't have that much wall space. But people on Instagram and TikTok, you look at these kids with their comic book walls. They put all their favorite covers on the wall, right? If those were prints, bro, think about it. Think about it, guys. Think about it. They're not reading all the comics on the wall. You know what I mean? They buy them for the covers. Think about it. I don't know if they would do. I don't know if you'd make more money selling prints than you do currently selling variants. You know what I mean? But like, I'd buy the prints and I don't buy the variants. So think about it, dude. Think about it. Let's see. So rare, no glasses pick. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I was wearing contacts at that moment. So that's probably why I look weird as hell. I'm just like, yeah, what's going on with my face? There's no glasses. That's probably what it is. Let's see. Some of the image compendiums. That's a good one. That's a good call. Get Paper Girls image compendium. Saga is a good one. More of an adult read, like kind of for older readers, but Saga's a good one I'd recommend. What's up, Kody? Off topic as F, but would you recommend just jumping on to 52, the 2000 series? I'm maybe half a year locking into comics. I know Infinite Crisis is what leads up to it. I would say, so I've not read I've not read 52, the series. I want to, though. I heard it's really good. I heard it's got like Renee Montoya heavy, right? And like all the creators. Just the idea of doing a comic a week and like making it work well and like everything flows. Very interesting to me, but I don't have 52. For me, it was like, do I want it in the omnibus? And I think I do. So I'm kind of just waiting on that. I think you can jump into 52. I don't think it's bad. You know what I mean? You might be a little confused, but I think you'll be all right. Hi, Kody. I'm a big fan of your new comic book days. You are the best. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. And I'd say my new comic book day videos, they should be getting even better going forward because now I'll be filming inside my new shop. You know what I mean? We'll be filming in the shop with Midcoast Comics. We got some stuff brewing with them, dude. We got some stuff brewing. If you guys got questions about it, I'll answer. But I don't know it's not that I can't say anything. You know what I mean? It's not that I can't say anything about it. I just don't know what you guys would want to know about it. But I guess I'll say this. Maybe more opportunities to get to diversify and get some more variety in my pull list, because potentially be doing some promotion stuff for them. In addition, they'll give me the comics. You know what I mean? They'll give me my pull list, like some store credit kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that's what we're kind of trying to work out. But that could allow me to, get some more indie series, get some more Marvel here and there. And yeah, that should be cool. Let's see. Scrolling up. I have too many DC, so some Marvel and indie would be nice. All right, let's start a campaign to bully. I mean, encourage the publishers to sell comic-sized prints. I think that this idea is genius. I really do. Let me see. The two texts are ones I ran out of room. What's your favorite comic in original hardcover, not Absolute or Omni? Favorite comic in original hardcover? Well, you say no Absolute. It's not Absolute size, I don't think. But I would say probably my Maze book by Jeff Lemire is probably my favorite collected edition I have. Actually, I don't have earbuds. I can get it. Hold on. So I like this one a lot. I guess it's bigger. It's bigger than a deluxe edition from Image, but I love this. This is like beautiful. If you guys can see the material, it's not like, it's like felt almost, right? And you got the yarn kind of theme going out. You got the yellow or the not yellow. This is red. It's red, dude. But yeah, the pages are red on the side. I have this is cool too. Because I've never seen that, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but like this was such a fun thing to find at my local comic book store for like pre-owned, and they're not reprinting this anytime soon. So Ed Brubaker hardcover. I love Incognito. Oh man, it's so good. Other than that, I guess I'd say well, you said no Omni. I have my Charles Soule Daredevil. It's signed and remarked by Charles Soule. So that was a really cool purchase I got from Charles Soule at his booth. So he was like, yo, you want me to remark it? And I'm like, yeah, man. Actually, I got the picture right here. Check this out, dude. Just talking about it. So Charles Soule hooking me up with the Omni. And he said, I cannot see the light, so I will be the light. Dude, chills. Chills, bro. You guys get chills? I just got chills, dude. I just got chills. Charles Soule with the hookup. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. So that's a collected edition I love, just for like the story of it. And also, that sucked, dude, because if you don't know how big actually, you can see it. It's a chunky Omni. I had to carry that with me all day, bro, at the con, like in my backpack, dude. Carry it home with me, like flying from Chicago back to Maine or Rhode Island at the time, I forget. But my back, bro. My back, dude. That was tough. Let's see. real. I'm finishing up Gotham Central right now, so that's why I want to get into Renee. She's my goat. Renee is my goat too, dude. I love Renee Montoya. Gotham Central, she's such a good character. And then, yeah, right now she's the Question. You know what I mean? Like she's the Question. Obviously, in the Batwoman series by Greg Rucka, he's getting some Renee Montoya and Kate Kane, like they're clashing a little bit. Like they got the tension, you know. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see. Croc Comics says, "Let's go." Here, let me write down. Give Croc a shout out, a B-Day shout out. B-Day for Croc. Let's see. No. What's 52? So 52 is a DC Comics series where they released one issue every single week. So it's like this crazy idea, and like, dude, okay, I've not read Infinite Crisis. This is why I don't know. Was it even Infinite Crisis? I don't even know. It either led up to Infinite Crisis or like Infinite Crisis was after it. I forget. I don't know. I do not know. Okay. But it focuses on some like more obscure characters, and it's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like multiple creators like working together and making sure like the stories like all kind of lead together and stuff like that. I've not read it though, but that's just what I hear. Let's see. And yeah, I know what you mean. I got book 1 and 2 of the Omni, but they're just sitting on the shelf for now. Let's see. When is the switch to the new shop? So I will be switching shops. My current shop has me until the end of July. So once July is over, the first new comic book day in August will be at the new shop. So yeah, that's the plan. And they already got me hooked up, because here's the thing, bro. The new shop has League of Comic Geeks sync, right? So I did that video, if you guys caught it on Thursday, where I talked about my full pull list, right? And then at the very end of the video, I was able to say, yo, Midcoast Comics, here's my pull list. Boom. And then I text Steve or DM him or whatever on Instagram. I'm like, yo, just sent my pull list. And he's like, got it, man. You're all set. It's that easy when your shop hooks up to League of Comic Geeks, bro. Like, I've never had that experience before. And it's like, instead of, calling the shop, or I would always email, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's tough because I don't remember. And now maybe I could get variants, bro. It's like, yo, a month in advance, if this variant comes out by Daniel Warren Johnson, I could put it on League of Comic Geeks instead of telling my shop, yo, can you make sure to get me, I don't want the issue, the cover A, I just want the Daniel Warren, you know what I mean? It's like, this is going to be so nice, dude. It's going to be so nice, bro. The book with some gross art. Some gross art? Definitely the Animal Man omnibus that I talked about in my video on Friday. The Animal Man omnibus was disgusting, bro, but I loved it. It was cool. The body horror. That's a really nice addition. I found Incognito, but have not read it yet. Dude, get on that and let me know what you think, because Incognito, it's like creator-owned superhero world, right? But I found it to be very, like, the time frame that it's set in. It's very, very cool. Kind of like that pulpy, like 30s era, but then it takes place like more contemporary, but it has like those vibes. And the story is kind of like Fight Club a little bit. It's like this guy just trying to like fight back against the system, I guess. He's trying to like get back into things, you know? He was a criminal back in the day, but now he's in witness protection program and he's trying to be a hero. So Incognito is sick. And it's like hard to find. It's out of print, so nobody knows about it from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, the GOATs. So it's tough. The epic quote. Do you like my suggestion for the vid? Sorry for your English. Nah, your English is good. Year of the Collector. The Traveling Omni sounds like an epic story. What's up, Year of the Collector? Make sure you guys subscribe to Year of the Collector, dude. What's up, Yancey? Traveling Omni. Yeah, that was tough. Very heavy. That's why I don't buy Omnis at conventions anymore. I just stick to like deluxe editions, because Omnis, they make those things pretty heavy, dude. Turns out. You lucky American, bro. I live in Australia. I never get anything signed. That's brutal, because How many conventions are in Australia? That's a good point. That's tough. That's tough. 52 is the story of DC after Infinite Crisis, a world without Trinity for a whole year. Year with the historical context. Year, have you done a breakdown of the 52 on your channel? Think about that. Think about it. That might be tough. The Justice League or the League connection is a big W. Pizza Punk, I cannot tell you how exciting it was to hit submit, like pull or hit sync or whatever. And then Steve's like, you're all set. Like, bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Why isn't every comic shop doing this? And I know why. It's because they're old as hell and they don't know how technology works. But that's why I'm like excited about Midcoast Comics, because he's younger. He's like trying new shit all the time. He's always like, oh, you know, like we're doing sales on for the summer. Every Saturday we're doing sales. Or it's like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But my other shop, they just kept things going the exact same. They never switched stuff up. It was just like, you got your pull list, and I just went there every week just because it was 5 minutes down the shop. I like the employees. I had a connection with them, but like I don't have ties to Casablanca. Like I'm not flying a Casablanca flag. You know what I mean? Like they're not my shop like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's because the employees that were friendly with at the shop, Matt and Matt, they didn't own that shop. They're just employees. So I'm trying to think, like, if I had a closer connection to the owners, then I'd probably want to fight for them more. But dude, let me tell you this, Pizza Punk, bro. Let me tell you this, dude. We can get into it. I know I'm supposed to talk about the pull list, and I haven't talked about the pull list for 30 minutes now. But let's get into it, Pizza Punk, right? So I was at Casablanca Comics at the Portland location, right? Shopping around with my wife. It was her birthday. So we're just walking around Portland. And I'm like, oh, I'll stop into Casablanca. I got a compendium, right? So I'm dropping like $40, whatever, right? And I let the lady know. I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm at the Wyndham location. Like I heard about like the shop closing or whatever. And then she's going like, and this was like the owner. This is like the wife of the owner, like the co-owner. She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, now that's weird to me, right? Because wouldn't you want to make sure that like, oh yes, we're so sorry about the Wyndham location. Like, do you want to move your pull list now? Like, it's just weird to me that like, she's like, yeah, it's like the shop's closing, and then like that was it. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not saying like bow down to me and like kiss my feet, but like, wouldn't you want to keep my pull list going, like, or find out like what I'm gonna be doing, or like, you know what I mean? I just found it to be very weird. I guess what I'm trying to drive at Casablanca Comics, I really just felt like a number. Like I was just the guy who picking up the pull. Like at this new location, I would just be just a number. You know what I mean? But I feel like at Midcoast, I'm like getting into the community. I'm like helping them out. Like we're doing promo stuff. I feel like me and Steve could like be bros. You know what I mean? So I'm liking this new possibility at Midcoast versus Casablanca. Yeah. Anyways, so I saw someone comment, can we talk about the pot? Oh, Lisa said that. We'll get into the pull list here in a second. I just want to catch up on these comments, dude. You guys are bringing up this is a great conversation, dude. I'm having a blast. My wife's at the beach today with some friends, so I'm just chilling today pretty much. Let's see. I want the Xbox your fired stream, but left halfway through. I want all shops to use the League of Comic Geeks for their pulls. It's so easy and convenient for the customer. And dude, I'll say this too, in my mind, right? Like, because there's all this talk about like how to track sales and like pulls and stuff like that. If everybody was using if everybody was using like a good source, then like that could be the source. But everybody's using different stuff. So yeah, if all the shops could just, like, I want to travel around the country, Year. You and me, Year. This is what we should do, Year, okay? We travel around the country, comic shop to comic shop, and we help get them set up on League of Comic Geeks, and we show them that it's not that hard, okay? And then we could be heroes for the comic book community, Year. Everybody could be using League of Comic Geeks. And here's the other thing, dude. I shouldn't be shilling for League of Comics. They're not paying me, bro. I just love this damn app, but like they should be, because I talk about this damn app every single day, and I have it, like I use it. I probably use this app. It's probably like my most used app on my phone almost, dude. For real. It's probably like top 3. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because I'm always using it to get screenshots too of the covers and stuff like that. Like I just use League of Comic Geeks all the time. Anyways, sorry. Let's see. How do I read Wonder Woman without buying a ton of hella expensive omnis? Should I read the compacts, Dead Earth, and Historia? I would say those are 3 good options that you just listed off. I love Dead Earth. It's like an Elseworlds type thing, but you still get the essence of Wonder Woman. Historia I haven't read yet, but I heard that's a good primer for Wonder Woman and her universe, her cast of characters and stuff like that. Compacts, you can't go wrong. They're $10. I would say start with George Perez. Start with the George Perez Wonder Woman run, however you can get it. And also I would say maybe just download the app, Chinez. You know what I mean? China Naz, Sina Naz. I would say just download the app, maybe pay. That's probably the most cost-effective way to read as much Wonder Woman without spending as much money. Maybe look into that. You know what I mean? Been watching your stuff for a couple months. Finally catching you live. Big Nerd Boys. Thanks for watching live. Appreciate it. Every single Sunday at 11 a.m. is the plan for going live, just so you know. Fanspin says, hey. Don't put that evil on me, Kody, says yeah. Derek Seaborn says, what's up? What's up, Derek? I feel like an absolute version of 52 could be crazy with how successful the Absolute Universe is. I feel like nothing is really off the table, which is kind of exciting. That's the crazy part, right? Because we were getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con. What are they going to announce, bro? What are they going to announce? And I think I want to do a video next week prior to. Well, no, I think I'm talking about it for Absolute Universe News. But just like theorizing, like, what could they be announcing, bro? Because Green Arrow, Absolute Green Arrow is coming to an end. You know, it's going to be 6 issues. Absolute Catwoman's coming to an end as well. It's on issue 2, just came out. So, like, what's next? Like, you got to have the next miniseries or the next ongoing, like, ready to go. And obviously, Absolute Martian Manhunter ended, right? So, like, you know, 3 dominoes are falling. Are you going to set 3 dominoes up? That's where it's crazy. Are you doing 3 Absolute series to replace them? Or are you doing, like, 1 ongoing to replace Absolute Martian Manhunter, maybe like another mini or something like that? I don't know, dude. That's why it's exciting. That's why it's exciting. I don't even know if that made sense. Hot take. Absolute DC is better than the new Ultimate Universe. That's not hot. Honestly, Etten, that's probably the coldest take. I agree with that. I think everybody in the whole community would agree with that the new Ultimate Universe kind of doo-doo, especially the way it ended. I was going to make a video about just like the Ultimate Universe, like just in retrospect, now that it's all over. But I was like, this is so bored. I'm so bored of it. I don't even want to talk about it, bro. You know what I mean? It would just be an 8-minute video of me just shitting on the Ultimate Universe. And it's like, I don't even want to make that, man. I don't even want to make that, dude. And like, I don't even think you need to compare it to the Absolute. If you just take the Ultimate as its own, it's not that good, man. It ain't that good at all. Maybe the wife is over the comic book shop business. Nah, you know what? That's what's so cool is my wife, she like supports me. She supports me like hardcore. So that's what's cool about it. Let's see. Yeah, that's strange. Checked out maybe. Could be checked out. Could have not been a good day of me going to the shop. Like it could have been, you know, she's having an off day kind of vibe or something like that. But I just found it weird. Like, I don't know. You own the shop. Because here's the thing, Pizza Clunk. And I'm not saying I'm the person who spends the most at Casablanca. Like, I don't have the biggest pull list ever. But, like, I'm dropping $200 a month. Like, I'm dropping $250, like, max or whatever. You know what I mean? Like some weeks there's 5 freaking pull list weeks. You know what I mean? Or some months. I'm dropping a bag. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be like, oh, like, what? Oh, what was your name? Like on the other store, like, oh yeah, we'll get you set up on, you know, let us know if you want to keep, just let us know if you want to keep your pull or something. She gave me like a 1 word. She's like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I'll buy my compendium and I'm just leaving here. And honestly, bro, I don't want to like talk too much shit about Casablanca. They were good. Matt were good to me, but it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'd rather go to, that's the thing. They're the worst comic store out of the 3 in Portland. Or like there's 2 in Portland. They're the worst. I'd rather go to Coast City like every day of the week than go to Casablanca in Portland. But now I'm even going to Mid Coast because they're so bad. So you're number 3, bro. You're number 3. You think you want to keep me around? That's all I'm saying. Anyways. Haha, you're not wrong for that. I feel like anyone would want to take. I feel like anyone would take the new spot. You know what? I got this email, and if you're watching live, I'm not dissing you. You know what I mean? The respect for what you're trying to do, but I'm not gonna help you do it. Someone was emailing me and they're saying, "Yo, like I heard about your shop closing. Could I buy the shop?" And then he sent me like a bunch of questions that he wanted me to answer about like the community and like if I thought it would be a good idea to buy the shop. And I'm like, I'm not helping you do market research or like research on the location. Like, no, bro. If you're trying to buy the shop, you try to buy the shop. I'm not going to help you do it. I don't care that much. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not even that the shop is like, they're moving all the shit to Portland, bro. So you're just buying like the location and you're going to have to set up your own comics. And anyways, so I don't know. I wasn't going to help him do that. I guess that was like a kind of an interesting email. Nah, this is W vibes. Bro, I have one comic shop in my city, probs the whole state, unless there's one in the middle of the desert somewhere. My spelling's not that good, but I'm trying. Uh-oh. I might be lucky. I have 3 comic shops, 15 away from me, and then a few slightly further. That would be cool, dude, because then, like, that was always my dream for my new comic book day vlogs, is like doing a circuit. Like, you go and I hit, like, 3 shops, and they're all different, and, like, the videos are so, you know what I mean? They're spiced up because I'm going to 3 different shops. I just was never able to do that. Just living in Maine, it's always tough. There's not that many shops. Let's see. My real shop is 30 away. I have to pay a bridge toll to get there. I've just been buying trades and use DC Infinite, but man, there's got to be some better way if you don't have a shop nearby. I used Midcoast. No. That's the shop I'm going to. My brain is fried. Midtown Comics out of New York City. You know, that chain that's very popular. I used them when I lived in Rhode Island and didn't have a shop. And I would get my pulls on like Friday. You know, that was pretty good. That wasn't so bad. I'd rather go to a shop, right? But that was a good option when I didn't have a shop near me. We are the biggest non-sponsored promoters of Comic Geeks. League for real. For real. Where's that? I need some money. I don't even know if they have like, is it like free what they're doing? Like they don't even have any money themselves, but give me some money on that, man. We talk about that all the time. I bought a compact comic with nearly no words till the end made by us. Used bookstores will often have cheap trades. They don't mark them up as high as comic shops. That's a good point. DC subscription has crazy value, but I need the stuff on my shelf. I see what you're saying. Yeah, gotta have it on the shelf. I feel that. I have to go. I'm sorry. I hope you have a good stream. Croc, don't worry. I'll give you your shout out and make sure you have a good birthday. Make sure you have a good birthday. I'm interested in the Midnight Universe. See what Marvel does with it. I'm interested too. We're going to be covering it here on the channel. We're going to vibe it out, see how we feel about it. Let's see. The day Absolute Martian Manhunter Volume 2 comes out, I'm trekking to my comic book store for the hardcover. That's the thing. I'm waiting on that deluxe, man. You know that deluxe is going to be coming out, and you know that's going to be beautiful. Beautiful hardcover, beautiful dust jacket on that. Oh, man, I cannot wait for Absolute Martian Manhunter Deluxe Edition. See you later, Croc. Year says, Ultimate Universe started out so strong. What a shameful waste of time and resources. Pretty much, Year. Like, Ultimate X-Men was the dark horse of the whole thing, and I dropped it, unfortunately. But that series was actually pretty sick throughout. Peach Momoko killing it. Ultimate Spider-Man, like, the stuff where you get into the Mysterio stuff, I'm like, oh, that's sick, that's kind of cool. But then like you quickly kind of drop off. The last like 5 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, you kind of just faceplant, bro. Like, and then Ultimate Black Panther was the slowest start of all time. I had to drop off that. I don't know if it got any better. I didn't keep up. Ultimate Wolverine was like, it was good, it was fun, but I would say probably each issue was like a 3.5, like to a 4. Like max, and it's just like, all right, you know what I mean? Not something that I needed in single issues, I guess. Absolute Aquaman TBA at San Diego. That's my guess. That's my guess. Because I think, and what I'm going to be focusing on for my video for Absolute Universe News is that quote from Scott Snyder where he says, like, I'm really excited about the Absolute Aquaman idea, and I think something will be announced soon or something like that. So I'm pretty sure it'll be San Diego Comic-Con. That seems the most likely spot for it. You're not wrong. It's weird she didn't try to get you to do business at that location. I'm saying. You ever think about having a collab with someone like Omnibus God? I'm friendly with Omnibus God and yeah, like Yoo-Hoo and those guys, like that group, that little cohort. I'm friendly with them. I would collab with them at some point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not against Omnibus God Doe's comic. At least the new shop sounds like a keeper. Exciting times ahead. Sorry for swearing. You don't need to apologize, Lisa, for swearing. I swear all the time. The Rex B says good morning. Good morning, or no? I guess it's still before noon, even here on the East Coast. So yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody out there. Croc Comics says thanks. Drop a Saturn. Also, if you live in a country that has them, make heavy use of your local library. Oh man, that is a good. That's a good transition. Not like gonna get into it all, but I went to my local library. You guys know I got Jerome at the library. We're gonna be reading that. We got Frog Catchers, Jeff Lemire at the library. We're gonna be reading that. We also got Little Bird. Man, I started Little Bird. Hold on, let me show you guys. I started Little Bird yesterday after doing my video reading outside, right? My TBR, about halfway done. Little Bird is an instant classic. Little Bird is an instant classic. It's kind of like got East to West vibes, but like more focused. It's like East to West mixed with Extremity, and you kind of like squish them together, and you get Little Bird. And it's good. It's really good. It's actually really sick. Also, if you get like Napalm Lullaby in there too. Napalm Lullaby, East to West kind of vibes and themes, and then you give it like the Extremity kind of character protagonist, like emotional heart. That's what you get with Little Bird. So it's doing a lot of stuff that I like. Definitely check out Little Bird, man. And check out your library. That's a great shout out, Drop a Saturn. You're lucky as hell. I got to take 40-minute train and then walk 20 minutes just for single issues. Can always be worse, guys. Can always be worse. Ultimate X-Men ended so strong, bro. Momoka pulled hell of a trick on the last couple of issues. I'm just getting into comics right. Most of what I enjoyed has been DC related. I got issue 1 of Spider and the first 6 of Ultimates. Is it worth continuing? For issue 1 of Spidey, I guess it depends what Spidey, and the first 6 of Ultimates. Oh, probably issue 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man and then the first 6 of the Ultimates. Man, and I feel so complex. I feel so much complex feelings about the Ultimate series because I feel like in general, like the Ultimates like series as a whole, I don't think it was like a good series in terms of like issue to issue comic books, but like some issues of the Ultimates would be issue of the year, bro. Like it comes out with the Luke Cage issue and it's like, or the Ultimate 4 issue 4. Like stuff like that was insane, bro. But like, I feel like overall, like the series never like gelled. It was never like one continuous. It was like all these little threads kind of like going like this. And it's like, that's cool, but I'm looking for like a story. You know what I mean? And I guess they kind of wrapped it up in the Ultimates. They kind of wrapped it up at the end, like referencing stuff to the beginning. But I really do feel like the problem with the Ultimate series was just like, you want more of like the Hawkeye. You want more of the She-Hulk. You want more of the Guardians of the... Like, and it just didn't... It would never give you that because that's just not what the series is. So it was very weird. Very weird. Ultimate Wolverine was a story of Eurasia. While Wolverine was just a POV to show that side of the world. I agree with that. The Ultimates ran the same speech like 3 times in the last arc. Agreed on that. Little Bird is insane, bro. Is this New Comic Weekly or a talk show? Look at the pull list. Yo, Lisa, I gotta say, You can't be telling me what to do. I just gotta say respectfully, we're taking the show at whatever pace the show is being taken at. It is my show, and if I gotta say, if you're not liking it, you can watch the pull list video. You know, it'll be nice and edited down on Tuesday. I'll cut out all the jibber jabber, but the live is where we talk with the community. So that's what it's all about. I will be honest. I mean, the pull list and stuff, that's just a vehicle to be able to talk to the community. Okay, so the fact that I've got 35 people here and they're all talking, that's kind of the point. Not gonna lie. And if you guys are liking it, I'd appreciate a like. This is going pretty well. I'm really enjoying myself. Let's see. Yeah, make sure you guys check out Little Bird though. Like for real, people like hype it up. It's actually that good. And then you could read Precious Metal, I guess is the sequel. And then I don't know if Carmen Blade, that's coming out later this year, I don't know if that's a sequel or just the same creative team and it's like a spiritual successor. I don't know. I'm not sure. But getting ready for that by reading Little Bird, gonna read Precious Metal, and then I'll be really read up on some Darcy Van Polgeest before he takes over the Doom Patrol series. So excited about that. Let's see. Drome is fantastic. Not a lot of dialogue, but the visuals are incredible and how the pages are laid out. So when I was flipping through Drome, I was like, because you hear about like the grid kind of tile thing that he does. I'm like, this is very unique. So I was flipping through it and getting very intrigued by it. Can't wait to dip into Drome. Have I read Assorted Crisis Events? I love Assorted Crisis Events. I've been pulling every single issue, and I'm excited for them to come back from their. They got hiatuses, you know. They got hiatuses, all right. But you give them the space. You give them the space because it's really great comic books. Dennis Camp's busy guy. Eric Zawadzki, you're really pushing the like what a comic book can do. So you give them a couple months to do their thing. I wish I could stay for the stream, but keep up the fantastic work. Your videos always cheer me up after school. I really appreciate that nice comment, Ethan. The Ultimates was spread too thin. I agree with that. Ultimates was spread like as thin as could be, man. Like that. I'm trying to think of something viscous and that's very thin. I don't know. Something very thin though, guys. I'm right. The Ultimates were more about the messaging and themes rather than the cohesive story. And with that being said, I appreciated that from it. Like Dennis Camp was really kind of hammering. And I guess like I would compare it to the Wonder Woman series in that's really theme focused and like Tom King looking at what's happening in our world and writing a response to it through the pages of Wonder Woman. I feel like Dennis Camp was doing that same thing with the Ultimates, right? So the context of when it was coming out, Trump coming back into office and that sort of thing, I feel like that's very important for the Ultimates. But down the line, I don't know if it's going to hold up as well in its themes because I don't know if that context will be so apparent for people that try to check. And on top of the fact, at this point, I wouldn't recommend anybody check out the Ultimates almost. Like, I think if you get into the Ultimates, you start reading volume number 1, you're just going to be left by the end of volume 4 for all of these series be going like, okay, I don't think I can recommend them, to be honest with you. It's pretty interesting. I'm here for the jibber jabber, real W yapping. First off, who is Lisa? I like Lisa. Lisa stops in all the time. We like talking with Lisa, of course. But I gotta be honest, Lisa, like this show is the Kody Collects. Originally, the name of the show was the Kody Collects Show, if that gives you guys an idea of what I was thinking of. But I called it the New Comic Weekly Show because honestly, I'm thinking in my head, who the hell's going to watch it live? I need something to talk about, right? So that's why I have the pull list. That's why I have the FOCs. That's why I have the trade paperbacks and stuff like that. Because if no one was in the chat, I would have nothing to talk about, so I would talk about the pull list. That was the idea behind this whole thing anyways, being honest with you guys. So there's some behind the curtains. Let's see. I'm hopping on Doom Patrol day 1 when it drops. It's got me more excited now that I've read Little Bird, and you kind of see like, all right, Darcy's got the stuff. I was just like, I don't know who Darcy is, and I didn't know who Nico Hendricken is, so I didn't know what to expect for Doom Patrol, but that's gonna be sick. Give me a rec that isn't the same as every top 5 list. I F with Dennis Camp. O'Neill's question in Morrison's Animal Man. Give me a rec that isn't the same as every top 5 list. Little Bird. I'd recommend Little Bird for sure. No, I'd say let's see. Well, I would say from Jeff Lemire, you got to read May's book. That's a good one. But like no one talks about it. I would say the Universal Monsters stuff is pretty good. You read Dracula, Invisible Man. Deadly Class is a good call out from Year. That's a good one. Let's derail this whole live and get into Tom King's Wonder Woman. What's up, Paul? Thanks for joining, Paul. Paul Dev. Sorry for joining late, lol. We actually have not started. We've talked about two comics on the pull list so far. We're a little running behind schedule, just a little bit. Gotham Year One. I would say, dude, the compacts. I could rattle off a bunch of the compacts, bro. Under the Red Hood was excellent. Trail of the Catwoman was excellent. Static Season 1, that was a good one. It wasn't excellent, but it was a good one. George Perez's Wonder Woman, excellent. Kelly Sue's Aquaman is fire. I haven't heard about that. That's pretty sick. I didn't know she was on an Aquaman run. Batwoman Elegy Compact, that one rips. And that'll get you ready for the Batwoman by Greg Rucka 2026 series with Denis. I'll throw in both the 2000 and 2009 Batgirl series. Amazing books. I would say, if you like O'Neill's question, you got to be reading what's his name's? Grell's Green Arrow, bro. Ooh, baby. But Grell's Green Arrow is so sick. Catwoman Lonely City. Oh, great call out, dude. With that, the Cliff Chang, dude. What the hell is Little Bird? Is it good or shit? Little Bird is so good, all right? Let me tell you what it's about real quick. And then we'll get into the pull list. I swear to God, we will right after this, okay? Right after this. We'll get back into the pull list. It's going to be a bitch to edit, by the way. I have to cut out I guess it's not that hard. I just have to cut out 50 minutes of yapping and just keep the pull list part. So it's not that bad. So Little Bird is all about this girl, okay? She's the last member of her tribe that's been wiped out, okay? And the tribe that she was on was like a resistance group fighting against a real fascist America that's taking over the whole world, right? So it's got Dune vibes in that the bad guys are fascists, kind of like the Harkonnens or whatever. They give Harkonnen vibes. And so they're super religious, Christian fascists. And Little Bird is going on a revenge quest to free her mom. Has been kidnapped by the fascists, right? And there's this dude named Axe who she frees. And once you free Axe, he's one of the resistance fighters from back in the day or whatever. And he's got this giant axe, and you can't kill him. You can shoot him a million times, but he's just running at you with the axe. It's crazy, dude. Little Bird is crazy good. Yeah. All right, hold on. We're gonna pause it right there. Okay, Lisa? We're gonna get into the pull list, Lisa, just for you. Guys, this one's for Lisa. Everybody say thank you, Lisa. Lisa. All right, let's get into the pull list. Let's get back into the pull list. We'll talk about Nightwing here in a second, but let's talk about Captain America real quick. With issue number 13, Captain America is in hell with Doom, and they're in there trying to free all the demons of hell, because down in hell, turns out there's a fascist ruler down in hell as well. So Captain America down in hell. This series is really taking a crazy turn. Did not expect it from Chip Zdarsky, and I'm having a blast reading this Captain America series. It's kind of like my Captain America series at this point, right? It must be what it felt like reading the Ed Brubaker run as that was coming out. I wasn't there. I don't have that context for that. But this is keeping that kind of vibe and that kind of energy, and they're just marching through 13 issues on. Captain America has been excellent. Kind of related to that, let's talk about Avengers Armageddon. So while Captain America's down in hell, the world on Earth, the Marvel Universe, is kind of going crazy. You got, of course, Red Hulk. He's decided that he's not really down with working with the U.S. government anymore. he's decided that he's got his own country and he's going to be going around with all his other Hulks that he's created, taking over all these different countries. The UN is upset. They don't know what the heck's going on. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four and all them, they're getting more involved as they see Red Hulk going on his rampage across the globe. So we're ready for this Avengers Armageddon series to continue. Once this is over, that's when Chip Zdarsky is coming back in to do the Avengers series. He's taking it over with the new #1. That's got the excellent artwork from Marco Cacchetto. So we're waiting for that, but first we have to get through Avengers Armageddon. Let's jump back up to Nightwing #140, Highway to Hell. I think that the last 3 issues have really kind of changed my mind on this Nightwing series. I was kind of confused by, I don't know, like where was Dan Watters taking us? Like I really love Dan Watters stuff, but I really wanted to see kind of that detective aspect that I feel like we're getting in this arc. I wanted to see that kind of return to the series, not get so like mystical and kind of out there. And then Dennis Cohen, legendary artist in his own right, I feel like the inker on his first couple of Dan Watters Nightwing issues, like the inking wasn't really clicking with me. So now I feel like this series is back to the good vibes that I was having with it. It's not like a, should I cut this now? It's back in, okay, I'll keep it on the pull list for a little bit. New Titans #37, The Secrets of Cyborg. I'm interested in this series because Cyborg's got this little secret that he's been keeping. He has the Heart of Apocalypse underneath the New Titans mountain that they're all based up in. So that's kind of weird. What's going on with that? And then in addition to that, we know that in the next issue, for issue #38, we got Static joining the team. So when Static's joining the team, man, hopefully everybody comes out and helps support this comic book, because that's going to be a big moment for Static. I'm very excited to see that. Issue #37 comes out before that. Let's talk about Fantastic Four #14 really quick. I got to be honest with you. I'm 2 issues behind on Fantastic Four. I don't know what's happening. Like, usually this is a series that I read every single week that it comes out. I guess I missed issue #12, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait until issue 13 comes out, but I didn't get a chance to read that yet, those 2. I guess I'll just have a big old Fantastic Four little binge with Ryan North's issues #12, 13, and 14 when this one comes out. So I can't tell you exactly what's been going on. I'm a little bit behind. Wonder Woman #35, okay? So this is going to be Stephanie Williams coming in. They like to do these little interstitial arcs with Stephanie Williams. It seems like they're kind of gearing her up to take over the Wonder Woman title. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting. So we'll have to see if that comes to fruition at the end of Tom King's tenure on the character. But we'll have Clayton Henry coming in and Stephanie Williams doing a little, I think it's 2 issues. Let me see. Yeah, a little 2-issue arc before we get back to Tom King, Daniel Sampere in issue #37, continuing their Wonder War arc. Batwoman #5 has been real fun. Year down in the chat. I was thinking about when I was thinking about this series, because my guess was correct. Okay, if you guys remember issue 1, I was like, I don't think this Batwoman is Kate Kane, man. I think something's going on. Turns out Kody's the GOAT. Kody's the best. Maybe it was kind of an obvious guess. I don't know. But yeah, I really love the kind of dynamic that's been going on with Batwoman and her sister. The kind of race to like save her, essentially. I think that it's very compelling. Of course, we have Renee Montoya getting back involved into the story. This series is just maybe like issues 1 and 2. I was like, okay, those are good. A little bit slower than I was thinking. But issues 3 and 4 really kind of ramp it up. So I'm really excited for issue #5. This series has that positive momentum with it. That beautiful Denis artwork, of course. And then very quickly, actually, we'll save all these indies for a second. Let's jump back into the chat. Wrong button. Jeez, I labeled them too, and I still hit the wrong button, guys. Would you believe it? All right, hold on. Let me scroll down. Little Bird. Yep, that's the one I was gonna stop on. Scrolling up. I was going to say something different. Twig. That's a good recommendation. I love Twig. For those that haven't read Twig, you got some Scotty Young writing. Not Jorge Corona art. Who's doing the art for that one? Another Scotty Young series. Oh, wait. What's it called? Something. What's that one that he did with Jorge Corona above? Ain't No Grave? Ain't No Grave, I think it's called. Check that one out. That was a really good one. Let's see. 8 Billion Genies, another one I can recommend. Swamp Thing, is it getting a compact? I think it is. I think it is, yeah. That'll be cool. I'll be picking up that for sure. You guys know I love covering the compacts here on the channel. Final, the plot pull list before I'm 90, lol. I love the chat. Oh, finally the pull list. Crave, Doll Parts, and Lovesick Story. Descender, love Descender. I'm reading Ascender as part of my July TBR. We got Ascender. Gonna be closing out the Descender Ascender trilogy this month. Looking forward to it. Jeff Lemire, Dustin Wynn. I love that duo, man. It's so good. Far Sector. You gotta be reading Far Sector too. That's like my favorite Green Lantern story. Joe Mullen might be my favorite Green Lantern, bro. To be honest. Just saying. Just being honest, dude. Art kind of reminds me of Stepan Morian. That must be when you're talking about Little Bird, I think, right? I get some Stepan Morian vibes from it for sure. I get kind of like, I don't know, dude, like kind of Mobius, like almost Mobius too, and like maybe Frank Quietly too. Whoever's doing that Bizarro series too, it's kind of like that, like really hyper detailed, really cool. Let's see. Thank you, Lisa. Oh shit, I forgot to give Croc Comic a shout out. Hold on, I got to do that when we come back. Chaminade, feel important. Lisa crying tears of joy. You're welcome, you're the collector. Is it hot take that I don't think Green Arrow Year 1 is that good? Felt pretty basic to me. Huh, interesting. No, I don't think it's a hot take. Like, I guess for me, I would say it's like a I always rate stories out of 5, okay? Out of 5 stars. So I would say Green Arrow Year 1, probably like a 4.5 out of 5. I would say maybe the story could have been like slightly more complex or something like that, but I really think it just got to the essence of Green Arrow just like really well. Like I think Diggle just got it immediately, right? That excellent Jock artwork was probably the highlight, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, just like the new perfect Green Arrow origin story. Like I think that was the goal, and I think they succeeded it. That's why I would rate it high. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's not like the craziest story I've ever read of all time. But yeah. Isn't Fantastic Four gonna cross into DNX? I won't be picking that up. Good luck to those that decide to pick that up. Yeah, but that's the plan. That is the plan. I guess I have to read a little bit of DNX, but not like the most happy about it. The arc with Invincible Woman was so underrated, bro. Year. I'm saying, man. I'm saying, dude. The Invincible Woman was so badass. Just the idea of a Sue Storm that doesn't have compassion. That's not good, bro. Like, that's not good for the world, man, as we saw. I love that arc, dude. I love that arc. That was so good. Where's the omnibus for Ryan North Fantastic Four, man? Where's that Omni, dude? That Omni's going to go so hard, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God. My heart. Still my beating heart, dude. Jeez Louise. Renee didn't die. Woohoo. I love when Renee doesn't die. That's my favorite. I love Renee. Kody the Godfather. Here's an unappreciated series by Nick Dragotta. Ghost Cage. Year. Dude, this is why me and Year are just such good buddies, man. Ghost Cage is so good. If you want like the best example of like, because obviously East of West, right? East of West is its thing, and East of West is excellent. I love East of West. It's a top 3 Image comic series for me. But to draw the line from Nick Dragotta to Absolute Batman, you go through Ghost Cage. Like Ghost Cage is got like all, it's like the tryout for Absolute Batman in my mind, right? So Ghost Cage is badass, dude. Who wrote Ghost Cage though? I forgot who wrote it, but man, the artwork in that, I would want some original art for that. That would be crazy if that's a thing. Or does Nick Dragotta work digitally? I think he's digital, right? But still, hyped AF for Absolute Crisis Events number 9. With that, I'm only missing Absolute Martian Manhunter 1 through 12, and then I'll have all of Dennis Camp work in single issue main covers. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I guess I do too. Absolute Martian Manhunter, I have them all in a cover. The Ultimates, I have them all A cover. Absolute Martian Manhunter, I have them all in A cover. Bleeding Hearts, I have all in A cover so far. So I don't know what I'd be missing. Like, what is, and also, I guess I don't have 20th Century Men in single issues, but I have that in a trade. Yeah, Dennis Camp, man. Dennis Camp is such a GOAT. What a legend. Man. Kody's name is spelt with a K, not a C. He's not the fighter Kody Rhodes. That's true. I'm not the fighter Kody Rhodes. That's a good point. Did you get the Absolute Catwoman #2? Really interesting character to me in that issue. Yeah, we will be reading Absolute, or talking about, where is it? At the very tail end, at some point, I mean, we've been going for an hour 15, but at some point, I will be talking about Absolute Catwoman #2. So that is true, Paul. Eventually, we'll get there, I think. That'll be the last topic. Maybe the reviews will be very quickly, though. It'll be very quick. You guys know how it is. Dragotta wrote it, too. That's right, dude. Dragotta, the GOAT. Dragotta, the GOAT. Caleb Guller wrote with Dragotta. Okay. That's fair, though. Still. So it's probably maybe not like the dialogue from Nick Dragotta, or like, you know, they split it, but like maybe the concept was Nick Dragotta or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know how they split it, but there we go. Some of his other works include Agent of World, a Bloodshot series. Missed me on that. I don't give a shit about Bloodshot. 20th Century Men, Maxwell's Demons, Children of the Vault, mini from Krakoa era, I think. He's got some guest issues here and there. Okay, so it sounds like I'm not missing, like, whatever Agents of the World and Maxwell's Demons. That'd be like the only thing that I'd be curious about getting from Dennis Camp. Give me a sec. I have to get something, says Lisa. All right, everybody, wait. Lisa, I'll wait here. I'm not going to say a damn thing until Lisa gets back, guys. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get back into the pull list. Getting back into the pull list, of course, let's talk about some of the indie comics. Image Comics has a lot of great stuff. We got G.I. Joe #24. Of course, this is from Skybind as well, part of the Energon universe. I like this arc that they've been doing, man. It's got a lot of the horror elements, so it's really cool seeing Joshua Williamson. He's like, yeah, let's switch up the genre on you guys, like all of a sudden. I think that's really cool, man, following the Dreadnought War. That was excellent. This series just keeps upping up the momentum, I guess I would say. Like, it just keeps getting better and better, and I fall more and more in love with it. G.I. Joe #24, excited about that. Assorted Christ events, people are excited about this down in the chat. Everybody's hyping up Dennis Camp, and so we are excited about Assorted Christ events. This one sounds very interesting. It sounds like there's some sort of company called Temps, and what they do is it's like Dennis Camp's commentary on the gig economy, okay? So if you need a job and you're in the future, you can get sent all the way back to, like, you know, what's an example? A cobbler's assistant in Plague era Europe, right? So if you really need money that bad, you can get sent to the Plague era in Europe and be a cobbler's assistant, a salvager in the ruins of New York City 2032, or you could be a soldier in Krang's cross-time army. So yeah, exciting to see what Dennis Camp's going to be saying with this issue, right? But also how Eric Zawadzki gets that message across on the comic book page. We're loving Assorted Christ events, and we don't mind however long it takes. You guys take as long as you need to make this excellent series. Just what they're doing and what they're pushing, the comic book format forward. Take all the time you guys need. What an excellent creative team on that. If destruction be our lot, we love Abe. We don't want anybody to be mean to Abe. Poor Abe. He's like potentially going to get destroyed and scrapped, so he's kind of on the run. And this is a world that has no humans. It's only robots. Kind of the idea of, in a world with no humans, what's the purpose? What's the job of a robot? So Abe is kind of going out there, trying to have a journey of self-discovery. Matthew Rosenberg writing this series with his brother, Andy McDonald and Francesco Segala, killing it on the artwork. Got the best letterer in the game to round out the team, and Hassan Atsman-Alehu. I'm really enjoying If Destruction Be Our Lot. Seems like this series has a lot of room to grow in that, like, it's going to be an ongoing for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to go for a while. So we're excited to follow up on Abe's journey and ride it out with them. And then finally, last issue on my pull list, Of the Earth, issue #3. Tabby encounters something strange in the basement. Okay, dude. Sounds good, Chris Condon. Whatever you say. I'm excited about this one. I thought issue 2 was a lot better than issue 1. Issue 1 was like, it was cool. It kind of set the tone. I feel like the artwork was kind of missing for me on issue 1, but issue 2, they just killed it. They really brought like these really vibrant hues out in like the fields. So you got some really, really great artwork all throughout issue 2, and they kind of got the scenario more set in stone and kind of up the creepy vibes. And so I'm excited to see them continue with issue number 3 of The Earth coming out this week. That's all I'm pulling for July 15th through Comic Book Day. Let me know down in the comments what you guys plan on pulling. I'd be curious to know. And of course, with that being said, let's get back into the chat. Couple wrong button again, dude. Ha! Jesus Christ. Christ almighty, man. Jeez Louise, man. Jeez Louise. I'm back. Give me a recap. Clayface Celebrity Dirt was a surprise hit of the week for me. So that's one that I'll be picking up maybe in the trade or potentially reading it just digitally. But it's got some good buzz behind it. Some good hype, I heard. So that's cool. That sounds like I would die very quickly. There you go. You had me at Dennis Camp commentary on. I love his commentary. Who's doing it like Dennis Camp in terms of the messaging and the themes, man? And sometimes I guess you could say it's a little over the head. He's hitting you over the head. For me, it's working because I find them so poignant and like he's just saying what we're all thinking, bro. You know what I mean? He's just kind of nailing it. He's like the voice of us right now. That's how I feel about it. After Sony's announcement to end physical games, I got extremely worried this would happen to comics as well. Yeah, I can see a future where if DC gets bought by Paramount or whatever, and it's like, yeah, single issues, stop doing that. What are you guys doing that for? Make it all digital or nothing and just cancel them all. So I could see that. I could see that for sure. Of the Earth is really good. Of the Earth is good. I'm liking it a lot. Chris Condon is just on a heater. Chris Condon is just killing it. He's really just killing it. They already had 12 issues in the can before issue 1 came out. That's awesome. So probably talking about If Destruction Be Our Lot there from Omega Slice. That's awesome to hear. That's so well planned out from the Rosenbergs. Bringing us some good Abe Lincoln animatronic content, dude. It's pretty cool. I don't know how large this file is going to be, but we had 120 gigs. We're good, guys. All right. Let's get into the collected editions, and we're gonna get through them like kind of quickly. All right. So keep up with me. All right. Keep up with me. Maybe you can adjust the speed on YouTube. Maybe put me down to like 0.5 speed because I plan on going through this pretty quick. All right. I'm terrified of what Paramount's going to do. Evil company. They're probably one of the most evil companies out there right now. It's true. I think if comics can make it to 2030s at 100-year-old, they will be vintage and part of the history. So stick around. That's not a bad idea for Elliot the NB. All right, let's get back into the collected editions. Ready? Let's talk about some collected editions that are coming out for July 15th. You guys can find all these at your comic book stores or shortly after in the next couple of weeks. We have DC Finest, Batman, Blind Justice. If you guys are collecting the DC Finest for Batman, a new one's coming out this week. I know that Dom of X is pretty excited about that. If you guys are collecting Poison Ivy in the trade paperbacks, here we go. Poison Ivy trade paperback volume number 7. G. Will Wilson just continuing that series. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man volume number 4, Broken. This is that Joe Kelly, Pepe Larraz stuff. I don't know if this is going to have, they say like B and E stories. Like, I don't know, dude. There's some like odd and even. There was someone in space and someone on Earth. Whatever, man. Anyways, continuing with Infamous Iron Man, The Rise of Doom trade paperback. Dr. Doom takes up a new mask in the new Iron Man. This is going to have an Infamous Iron Man series number 1 through 12. Brian Michael Bendis with the excellent Alex Maleev artwork. Obviously trying to get everybody ready for Doomsday, of course. You guys see it. The MCU synergy is pretty strong over there. Ghost Pepper Volume 2. I've heard good things about Ghost Pepper. Probably like Volume 1. I haven't heard anybody talking about it like recently. Let me know. Is Ghost Pepper good? But there we go. Ghost Pepper Volume 2 coming out. If you guys are collecting this is called the Ongoing Compendium from IDW. This has the entire 51 through 100 of that long ongoing series out of IDW. This is prior to Jason Aaron taking on the title. So this is going to be 3 volumes in total to have the entire IDW saga. At some point, I got to be getting this. I really want to dive in and see kind of what led up to Jason Aaron's run. Jason Aaron's run is a great starting point, of course, but there are some things that I'd be curious about prior to a lot of fun Ninja Turtle content there collected in the 3 omnibus compendiums, they're calling them. Hunger in the Dusk is one of the most underrated fantasy series in the last 10 years. G. Will Wilson and Christian Wildgoose really killed it on this one, and it did not get enough praise that it deserves. So this collects these 6 issues of the second arc and the conclusion, at least for right now, of the series. I loved The Hunger in the Dusk as it was coming out. Really sad to see that I don't know what happened. Like they weren't able to continue it or something like that. Kind of unfortunate. Iron Man Modern Epic Collection is coming out. We have a Venom Black, White, and Blood Treasury Edition coming out. I Hate Fairyland. I think this is the return when this series came back. The new era, it says, of the Scotty Young and the people over at I Hate Fairyland. I've not read Fairyland. I've not read I Hate Fairyland, but that's the return there if you guys collect it in the trades. Planetary Compendium. This is a very intriguing series to me. Warren Ellis, rest in peace to the GOAT, John Cassidy, of course. This series I've heard really good things about. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was a DC, no, it was a Wildstorm series, right? If I'm not mistaken. I've not read any Wildstorm content like at all, but I hear really good things about Planetary. This collects the entire Planetary series in a nice compendium. Compendiums are low-key quickly becoming one of my favorite formats, dude. So the more compendiums that are coming out, I'm all about them. Just get all the series in like as many, as few collected editions as possible, right? So that's how I think about it as a collector. I like the compendiums, the omnibus, deluxe editions. If it completes like the full series, that's the preferred way for me to collect. Scrolling through, I think that's kind of all the more notable. I mean, you got the Phantom coming back in the trade paperbacks written by Ray Fox. That's out of Mad Cave. You got some Hello Darkness if you like the horror anthology out of Boom Studios. That's kind of it before it gets into, yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's kind of gets into the more foreign overseas releases. Let's talk about the hardcovers, man, because a lot of omnis. This one is on my wish list for sure. John Constantine Hellblazer by Paul Jenkins and Sean Phillips, the GOAT, one of my favorite artists in the game. I love John Constantine when he pops up and stuff, right? So I want to read a series that's focused on him, a Hellblazer in all sense of the word. Is that how you say it? Anyways, I'm excited for this series to be coming out when it comes out this week. I probably won't be getting it this week, but shortly after I will be getting this omnibus to be collecting some Sean Phillips stuff, but then also to read some John Constantine. The hardcover for the Poison Ivy Volume 7 is coming out. That's that G. Will Wilson series, of course. You can either get it in the trade or you can get it in the hardcover. Superman Brainiac Reborn. This is prior to the Triangle Era Omnibus. If you guys are collecting those, this comes out right before that. Looking at the creative team, you got some Dan Jurgens, Jerry Ordway, Roger Stern, all the different GOATs down there. I don't know if that's a well-acclaimed like era for Superman. It does have a lot of legendary creators, but I've not read that material myself. We also have Dan Jurgens again with an Action Comics by Dan Jurgens omnibus coming out. So there you go. A lot of great Superman content. We're seeing DC push Superman more and more, which is really cool to see. It's not just Batman. It's Batman and Superman mostly, right? But it's Superman too, guys, all right? So let's make sure that there's some great Superman content out there and that we're collecting them comprehensively in the omnibus format. Batman Judge Dredd, that's coming out. I didn't know that Batman crossed over with Judge Dredd. That sounds pretty cool. We also have another crossover, Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is that James Tynion IV written series. Is this the one where it's got that meme where it's like Batman's like like Raphael. This is where they killed my is that where this comes from? But yeah, it's getting another release there, another printing, I believe. The 2026 edition. It says we have an absolute edition for Batman White Knight, writer artist Sean Murphy's well acclaimed series. I've not read any of the White Knight stuff. I gotta get into it. People speak so highly about it. High Strangeness Deluxe Edition. I thought this one was kind of weird when I was picking up in singles. I like a lot of the creators on it. It's kind of an anthology, alien-y, kind of like cult. I don't even know how to describe it. Like folklore kind of series. It was all right. It wasn't my favorite anthology series by any means. And then as I'm scrolling through, that's kind of it for all of the more notable collected editions. And let's jump into the chat real quick. I gotta blow my nose or something. I'm starting to get you know when you talk for like 2 hours straight? That's what I'm starting to feel it. Starting to feel it in the throat, you could say. Okay. G. Will Wilson is just awesome. I love G. Will Wilson. Very underrated. Very underrated, for sure. Maybe she wins all the awards, so she's exactly as rated as she needs to be, but I like G. Will Wilson. Compendiums are a godsend. You're a fan of the compendiums? Me and you just mind melding all stream, dude. Only comics I'm getting this week is Catwoman issue 89 and Deathstroke issue 5. Okay, so both series that I'm not reading, but there you go. Always love to see some variety. Check the previous Hellblazer series if you haven't. Incredible work. Is that the Hellblazer Dead in America series year? Is that the one? Because I was picking that up in singles. Is that the one that's written by Simon Spurrier, bro? I gotta be honest, man. I think I'm just not a Simon Spurrier fan, dude. I think that he's like, and this is gonna sound, if someone clips this and sends it to Simon Spurrier, I'm gonna feel like such an idiot. I feel like Simon Spurrier, Dead in America is insane. Okay, so I feel like I wanted to read that when it was all collected, like in a binge. So I dropped off of it in single issues. I would say in addition to that, it's kind of hard for me to like be excited about Simon Spurrier, bro. I feel like he's so wordy sometimes to his own detriment. I'm like, there's got to be a more efficient way to get your point across, bro. Like I feel like he's trying to do like heady, kind of like thought-provoking stuff, but it's like, I just don't know if that's your bag, man. I just don't know if that's your bag. I'd say just pare it down. Use like half the words that you're trying to use, bro. And that's me speaking as not an author. I'm not a writer. So that's just me talking out of my ass. But I feel like, he says, give it another try. I feel like it was like he's trying to be Kieran Gillen, bro. That's what I feel. And that sounds so like reductive. And I bet that both of them would hate me for saying that. But I just feel like he's trying to get in that Kieran Gillen bag. And I'm just like, yo, bro, you're not in that bag, man. You gotta figure out another shtick. But that's just me talking out of my ass, bro. Dead in America was a sequel to his main Hellblazer run. Those two books are incredible. And that's the thing. It's probably like, yo, Hellblazer is like the character that he excels at writing. Like he loves writing that character. So and I just didn't have that previous series context maybe. So that would probably improve Dead in America for me. But yeah, I just feel like Simon Spurrier's stuff is like, reading his stuff's like pulling teeth, bro. And I don't say that about very many writers. Like there's a lot of writers that I just like don't feel that way about. I'm just like, yo, Simon Spurrier, like every time I'm reading your stuff, I'm almost falling asleep. Dude, is that mean? Now I'm just really late. I'm just like kicking a dead horse. Like there's no reason for me to continue talking about it. But yeah. Actually, I will say, how long has the mic been off? Did I just hit the button? I must have been. I must have just hit the button, but like 10 seconds. Okay, that's good. Thank you. But yeah, Damn Them All is written by Simon Spurrier, and I like this series a lot. I feel like the artwork was kind of like carrying this series over the line for me though. Like I like the concept, but again, it just had like. Actually, you know what? As I'm flipping, okay, well, this isn't the best example. This is what I'm talking about. Like I feel like stuff like this, I'm like, bro, when like half the page is dialogue, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Kind of. Not gonna lie, bro. It's just like very dense, bro. It's like eating a I don't know. It's like eating a big old chocolate cake or something like that. It's like, okay, dude, I need a break from Charlie Adler, bro. um, cut out when I stood up. I must have like hit the button like as I stood up. That's really weird. My favorite Simon Spurrier book is Step by Bloody Step. There's no words. That sounds like the perfect Simon Spurrier book. Because that's the thing. I like his concept. It's just like I feel like it's just like your dialogue. Like you just gotta pare that down, like a lot. I feel. I don't know, dude. Anyways, so we talked about the collected editions. We did the pull list. Now it's time for the FOC. So let's get into it. Let's jump into the FOCs. Of course, you guys have to get all of these orders in. Make sure you guys let your shops know you want the fight between Absolute Batman and Clayface. You're going to want Absolute Catwoman number 3 and all these great series, right? But let's focus this down into the number ones. And I got to be honest with you, not a ton of number ones to mention for FOCs, but if you get these on your pull list, your shop will have them for you when issue 2 and 3 comes out, and you can just set it and forget it. The main thing I want to talk about here is Batman and Robin Year 1 dynamic duos. Dude, I love Mark Waid and Chris Samnee. Whenever they team up, and Batman and Robin Year 1, that issue, those 12 issues were some of the best stuff that DC published at the time, right? So I'm excited for them to continue this idea. They're returning. I think that Catwoman is going to have a pretty big role in this one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, you got some great covers from Dustin Nguyen. You got a great Hayden Sherman cover as well. So Batman and Robin Year 1 dynamic duos is going to be real fun. I guess I'm glad that they're still sticking with Dick Grayson, because you can imagine them taking this series, and if they were doing a sequel series, they would maybe go like the Jason Todd, like kind of like how Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen were doing with the Robin and Batman series. But I kind of like that they're sticking with Dick Grayson. Just stay in that era, man. It's just so fun seeing that like emergence of the Batman and Robin, like, you know, that we know today, just kind of seeing that early era. I think it's just some really great stuff, man. So yeah, Batman and Robin Year 1 dynamic duos is going to be a blast. What if Runaways hadn't run away from Rainbow Rowell? That's going to be part of Marvel Comics. Are doing this big push for 50 years of What If. I guess for me, right, when I look at series like this, or like Marvel's always doing stuff like this, to me it's just like they just put it out there, right? It's like it's not going to get issue 2. It's just like a one shot. It's like, who is this for, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if it's for you, it's for you. Fun stuff with the What If. We have some facsimile for TMNT, the Mirage Era number 1. That's pretty cool stuff. Other than that, not a ton of stuff that I want to mention. I guess you have this new series out of Image Comics called Regicide, A Doomed March Through Transylvania. Okay, so, all right. Hey, the cover looks pretty cool. I like that art style. Patrick Kindlon and Ludovic Lalayat. Oh man, I'm sorry for butchering your name. I shouldn't have even tried. But that's all we have for FOC's number 1s. Let's flip it back to the not number 1s and just get a good sense of what's coming out. So yeah, the Absolutes, like I mentioned. I guess 2 issues of Daredevil are on FOC. I don't know what's up with that. Why would there be 2? If you were keeping up with Transformers from Robert Kirkman, that issue 35 is coming out. Action Comics 1101, now that Superman is back into the picture by that point. So that'll be continuing. I'm pretty sure Mark Waid's still writing that. Yes, he is. Kingdom of Zod. Okay, I got to get ready for Kingdom of Zod. Dang, I got to put those on my pull list. That's the point of this video. Now I can let my shop know, hey, I got to be reading Kingdom of Zod stuff. So there we go there. Something is Killing Children, number 50. That's pretty cool. Fear of the Firestorm has been excellent. We're going to get into the review for that here in a second. Bleeding Hearts. Yeah, I guess you know what I would say? A lot of these are stuff that we might be reviewing here in a second. Let's just get into the reviews in a bit after I catch up with the chat. Take everything you said about Simon Spurrier's writing, and it's how reading Tom King feels to me. Not mad at that at all. Not mad at that at all. I get that. I get that. I get that. This segment is not sponsored by the League of Comic Geeks yet. Yo, seriously though, do they have money? Or they like, how do they make money? Because I don't pay to use the app. Is there like a pro mode? I don't even know. I have no idea. Do they make money or are they just doing it for free? I love a Batman and Robin year one Jason Todd series after this though. Love Jason. I would like to see, no, you're right, Paul. I would like to see them continue this idea. And like, I want to see Mark Waid's take on Jason Todd. So that is what I feel like could be very interesting. But I'm just enjoying. They're just keeping it going with the Dick Grayson stuff. Like, might as well. It's real fun. You know what I mean? So, but at some point, the year one, like, idea, because like, dude, think about this, right? I mean, if you're looking at the Chuck Dixon and Beatty, I forgot his first name. They did a lot of the year one stuff back in the day, right? This is the new era, man. The Mark Waid, Chris Samney be giving us a ton of year one stuff. I'm hoping just keep that going because I think that they understand the assignment and they're just killing it. Let's see. Daredevil has 2 issues on FOC because they are double shipping next month. I think that makes sense, Paul. Okay, so that could make sense. That might make sense. Yeah, this is what Marvel needs right now. Another round of what ifs. That's what I'm saying. You're like, and like you might pull more Marvel than me, but like from like just as an outsider of everything that Marvel's got going on, like I don't pick up. This is how I would break it down. I want to do a video on it, but it's really just me shitting on Marvel and my DC bias would show so hard. But it's like, I really don't care about Spider-Man characters that are not Spider-Man. Like Miles Morales, I roll with you, I rock with you, but like I'm not picking up all the Ghost Spider, like Spider-Punk, like I do not care. Spider Noir, miss me with literally all that shit, right? So get them out of there. So I'm not picking those up. I feel like and that includes Venom. Venom, I'm too Venomed out. I'm too symbioted out. I don't care who's in the all-new Venom suit. I don't care who. Oh, now it's on Dylan. Now Carnage is on Eddie. Like, I don't give a shit, bro. I really don't give a shit, okay? So miss me with that. I don't pick up X-Men. Good for you guys. If you're picking up X-Men, the way I hear about it, though, from X-Men fans, this is like one of the worst X-Men eras that they've been reading in recent memory, right? So miss me with all that, right? And then definitely miss me with all these one-shots, bro. Like, you come out with a number 1, right? And it's like a 3-issue series. Maybe it's written by Hickman. Maybe it's not. Or like you're crossing over with Godzilla or Alien or Predator. Like miss me with all those crossovers and like mini series that I don't see going anywhere, right? So it's like, what's left out of Marvel for your boy to pull, bro? If I'm not into any of those camps, like just cutting out X-Men's like half of what they put out and all their subsequent series that are focused on the characters, like mini-series. So miss me with those. Symbiotes, miss me with those. Spider-Verse characters, miss me with those. Like, miss me with What If, all this bullshit. Every time they cross over with Godzilla, Alien, Predator, or Planet of the Apes, or they cross over with Alien and Predator of the Apes, or they cross over with the Predators there, but Godzilla's there. It's like, I don't give a shit, dude. I really don't give a shit. And then you go, and then here's what you do. Here's what you do on top of it, right? You say, Predator is going to be crossing over with Wolverine, okay? Predator is going to cross over with Captain America. Predator is going to cross over with Captain America. Predator's going to cross over with Captain America and Alien. It's like, dude, I don't care, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Am I making any sense, dude? Am I making any goddamn sense? I might have to clip this out because I just sound like I'm going through like a manic episode right now, but it's like it really is like it's a question I ask myself like, Marvel, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like there's nothing for me to pull and it's weird, bro. I'd pull stuff. I really would. It's just if I don't care about any of that stuff, I'm not going to pull it. Kody crash out on Marvel. I gotta crash out once an episode, and there was no tech issues this time, so I gotta crash out on Marvel, I guess. Oh my god. Oh my lordy lord. Yeah, this is what Marvel needs right now. Another round of what ifs. I love that comment, dude. Oh god. Okay. Spurrier and King just awful. I love that too. I'm not mad at it. I'm not gonna. Here's the thing, bro. Whenever anyone talks about Tom King and they say they dislike him, I just go, yeah. Like, I can't even argue, man, because every time, well, I can argue with you if you're like, I hate him because he's a war criminal. I'd be like, okay, what? But if you're talking about like, I hate Tom King because he's wordy, I can't even fault you on that, man. He's wordy as hell. What am I gonna say about that? They make money from Pro and Patreon subscriptions. There's Patreon for League of Comic Geeks. That's good to know. That's good to know. Still, though, you should sponsor me, guys. Because listen, no, like for real, like not even joking. If you're just talking about how many people, and this is me like upping myself up, but if you're talking about how many people I've sent to use the League of Comic Geeks app, we're probably not talking about thousands, but we're talking about hundreds potentially. Like one of the most commented things on my videos is, what app is that? What app is that? What app is that? If I could start every one of my videos, the app I'm using is League of Comic Geeks, the sponsor of this video or some shit, right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, my man. I pay for the pro version of League. Some features are worth it. What are some of the pro features? Let me know. And anything to get rid of ads. Is there any ads? I'm like, dude, is this an ad-free app? Unless you're talking about like ads for upcoming comic series, is that like, do they pay for like higher spots on the app? I don't know. I don't get ads. Am I missing something? Let's see. I have no Marvel, nothing pulled in your interest. You mean you don't like the idea of Venom being someone different every 2 months? What? Let's cancel the Marvel line, ignore the Imperial stuff, and send out a batch of new Godzilla and What If. That'll definitely compete with DC. That's the thing. It's just like, man. And the Comics Pals, good, Sean and the good folks over at the Comics Pals, they did a good episode on this. I think it was yesterday, where they got into it and they just said like what is Marvel doing, bro? That's why I've got the train going, because it's like, yeah, what are they doing, man? Moon Knight, anything Punisher is a must buy for me. So that's the thing. I'm not a Punisher guy, so miss me with Punisher. Moon Knight, like I fell off of Jed McKay's Moon Knight. I feel like it's harder to jump back in. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I'm no expert of the X books, but they've been solid, especially X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. Don't believe the hate. They're just mad that Krakoa ended. There you go. Okay. Chase that bag, Kody. Listen, Mid-Coast Comics. We got something cooking. We got something cooking. I would use League, but they don't like my email. What? Global servers instead of being only available for US. What? That's crazy to hear. They don't have it outside of the US? They need to fix that, bro. That's insane. That's like, what are you doing? You're just leaving like everyone out in the cold on that. You don't think people outside the US would want to use your app, bro? That's crazy. They don't like your email. That's weird too. What's up with that email thing? That's weird. All right, hold on. I have to move this stack of books. All right, guys, we're going to do some comic reviews, but we're going to blast through them, all right? I think I've been streaming for an hour 50, okay? So let's try to get these comic reviews done in like 10 minutes. Let's see how it goes. I can use it. I'm in Ireland. I didn't know Paul Dev was in Ireland. That's good to know, first off. And then you can use it in Ireland. So make sure you double check it, Tommy Ariel, I guess, because it sounds like Paul Dev's got it in Ireland. They don't like Hotmail or Proton email. That's so weird. What the hell? Anyways. Oh, well, gotta move this. Let's get into some comic book reviews, the things that we're reviewing today. Just give you guys a sneak peek. We got the Absolute Harley Quinn origin story. We got Rascal Randy #1, part of the Exquisite Corpses. We got Absolute Catwoman #2. This series is just on fire. Firestorm, issue #4. I didn't mean to. I love when things line up like that. We got Daredevil, Stephanie Phillips just killing it. Part of the Energon universe with Mask #2. Vertigo continues with Bleeding Hearts #6. This also closes out the first arc. So you guys are waiting on the trade for that. Definitely check that out. Dialoaded #7, back from its mini hiatus. And Justice League Unlimited is actually pretty solid. Let's talk about Absolute Batman #22. Man, a lot of similarities to the Arc M special in this one, in my mind. Just this idea that Harley Quinn, the life that she lived before teaming up with Absolute Batman. And then, so we're doing those flashback scenes. In the present day, though, Batman and Harley Quinn are trying to, I guess, essentially like try to hide out from the Robins. The Robins are still chasing them. And we find out some crazy stuff about Harley Quinn. We find out about her father. Oh my God. Do I do spoilers here? Someone type in the chat. Should I spoil it or no? Should I spoil or no? First thing I read, I'll either do that or not. Someone type yes or no. But I could get into it. We find out about some more of the just horrifying, experiments that are going on from this Jack Grimm guy and what he's been doing in the Arc M. The issue is very spoilery. I say yes. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Harley Quinn's dad is Jack Grimm. Disgusting, bro. What a disgusting plot twist from Scott Snyder. And then at the same time, you've got this conspiracy that's in theory spinning up. This idea that the Batman was set from the start from Jack Grimm. Like he was destined to be Batman from Jack Grimm from the start. And so we get some more details on that. And potentially, another spoiler, guys, another spoiler. We see what happened to Bruce's dad. So crazy stuff going on in the Absolute Batman series. Just insane on that final page, as Paul Dev says down in the chat. Just insane stuff. I couldn't believe it. The series just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Let's talk about Rascal Randy #1. First thing I'll say, as I'm flipping through, the art style is very cartoony, and you kind of got a sense that like this is not really going to match a slasher story, but I think it kind of did exactly what it set out to do. We got this potentially like the origin or whatever of the Rascal Randy character, like who is in the mask. But look how violent some of these kills are, man. So they're not shying away from the violence and kind of the adult themes in this Rascal Randy series. We got the Rascal Randy guy. He's a big fan of the TV show from back in the day. And yeah, just another great entry to the Exquisite Corpses universe. I can see their vision, right? Where every single, I think going forward, because Exquisite Corpses is such a big hit, we're going to see Exquisite Corpses on the comic stands all the time. There's never going to be a couple weeks without Exquisite Corpses on the stands because you're going to have all these different mini-series focusing on the characters from the first season. The second season's going to come out. You're going to have the character-focused mini-series focusing on those characters, right? So, you can see kind of the universe building, and I think that they're just doing it really, really smart from James Tynion IV, the good folks over at Tiny Onion, and Michael Walsh. They've really been tapping into a great idea with this Exquisite Corpses universe. Absolute Catwoman #2, another great issue. I thought issue 1 was potentially better than Absolute Green Arrow #1. I just like the kind of kinetic energy, like the momentum that issue 1 had. Great fight scenes. Bangle just killing it on the art. So yeah, I would say that Absolute Catwoman is very much up my alley. I think that it's got a lot of ties and similarities to the trail of the Catwoman that I just read in the Compact comic. So if you like that kind of interpretation of Selena Kyle, like the very, you know, not sure of herself, but just like the awesome female protagonist that you would find from Ed Brubaker writing it, I think that Che Grayson is kind of just bringing that energy right over into the Absolute Universe. And Bengal joining Che Grayson as the artist, the Victorious Sage, please gives us Absolute Question Now. Man, that was a crazy character reveal too. And just another great action sequences as well, as we see the kind of conspiracy getting larger and larger. Like, what is this mysterious orb? Why was it left to me? And why does Cassandra Cain want it so bad? And we find out what the orb actually does, and what it kind of gives us an idea of what to expect in the next couple of issues. But yeah, Absolute Catwoman number 2, they're just keeping it going, man. What a great series in the Absolute Universe. Fury of the Firestorm issue number 4. Man, another great issue. I think that the twist in the last one that kind of recontextualized the entire Firestorm character in like history, right? Just that this idea that Martin Stein set up Ronnie Raymond to be the Firestorm character, and it was part of like a government experiment. And in fact, Ronnie Raymond's past ex-girlfriend, she was also a casualty of this experiment. So yeah, I just love that Jeff Lemire is really, given this opportunity with the Firestorm character. He's really just kind of grabbing it by the horns and like, yeah, this is what I'm doing with Firestorm. This is my idea, and it's really, really working out. This idea that all of these government, like these really important scientific figures in the DC universe down here saying that, hey, from the start, these were all government programs. So the Metal Men, Firestorm, of course, the idea of the Doom Patrol and Metamorpho all kind of started as this kind of conspiracy. And I think it's really smart from Jeff Lemire to kind of recontextualize all this DC history. And I feel like this idea of like, has her whole life been a lie? It's like a really compelling question from Jeff Lemire here. And the artwork from Rafael de la Torre, man, it is just spectacular as I'm flipping through. I really like the thin lines. It's really cool style being put to great use in this Firestorm series. I think that if you guys are waiting for this series to come out in a trade, we're talking about like an all-timer trade. This is an S-tier DC Next Level book. It's the most consistent, and it's just really, really keeping it at that very high bar that I would expect from Jeff Lemire. So yeah, it's really great stuff. Fury of the Firestorm. Let's talk about Daredevil issue number 4. I think that this Daredevil series, I was comparing it to how I felt about the Batman by Jorge Jimenez and Matt Fraction, in that it's not like blowing me away every single issue. It's just like solid comic books every time, right? It's just very consistent. It's in safe hands. I know that it's going to be good to, I would say not good, it's great, right? So it's that next level up. It's like 8 out of 10 in that kind of range. So this is great stuff from Lee Garbett. I really love the kind of more religious elements getting introduced from Stephanie Phillips, because that's something that's important to the Daredevil character. We were kind of missing it in the first couple issues, but it's back in a big way here. Just Matt always dealing with like God. He's always like, is God out there? Is God have my best interest in mind? Is God real? He's always questioning things. So there we go. We have some great moments with the owl, great moments with this new villain. And I like this idea of this, like these two detective characters. They're kind of investigating the serial killer, Omen. We know he's the guy taking all the eyes, and very tragic what happens to this dude's partner as he drops the gun. He's fumbling with it. Buddy, he's got your partner's eyes, bro. You got to be more, you got the gun. You got to be protecting your partner, buddy, because he took your partner's eyes. I love what's going on in the Daredevil series so far. It's just off to a really great start. These first 4 issues, they haven't dropped the ball yet, I guess how I would put it. Mask number 2 was a real big surprise, man. I love Mask number 2. I think that the Energon universe, of course, I'm loving the G.I. Joe side of it. This is kind of more in that corner of the Energon universe that I like. And so we got this Matt Tracker guy. He's kind of putting together a crew, and they kind of run into this mysterious black hole seeming thing. And you get a sense of what the cars are able to do, right? So that's the big thing in Mask. All the cars themselves transform into other vehicles. They don't transform into robots, but this car can transform into sort of a submarine, so they can go down into the ocean. So you get some great ocean underwater artwork in this as well. Some great spy kind of espionage action. It's just a lot of fun in this Mask series, and I would really recommend it, especially if the G.I. Joe side of things is more to your taste versus the Transformer side of things. But yeah, Mask is off to a great start. And then I want to mention too, at the very end, they had this great article this write-up from Pi Par, who's the artist for the series. He's getting into what Mask means to him and how he grew up with Mask and how it's one of his favorite franchises growing up and stuff like that. So you get a real sense that this Mask series is being put out by real fans of the Mask property, and they can fully realize, like, yeah, it's just like when we're fans of it as a kid and now we're able to do it as an adult, like, we're not going to waste this opportunity. So yeah, I'm on board. Dan Waters, Pi Par, bringing us a really fun Mask series. Bleeding Hearts number 6 will close out the first arc. So if you guys are waiting for the trade, that should be coming out very shortly. I'm loving all of, I also realized I could zoom in a little bit, guys. That's my bad. I'm loving all of Stepan Morian's art style, the way that he plays with the form. He's stretching. He's getting a little bit more cartoony, more so than maybe other artists. Like, they want to keep it more realistic looking. Nah, dude. Stepan Morian's like, let's get a little cartoony and a little out there with it whenever we need to. I think that following this girl Rabbit is very smart from Dennis Camp. Just this girl in this zombie world, like, we always want her to be safe. So you're really attached to the Rabbit character, but we're balancing the other flip side of it from Poke's perspective really well. So we know that this Poke zombie, he is slowly becoming more and more human. He has a beating heart. He's starting to get empathy for the humans. As a zombie, he doesn't want to eat them anymore. So it's kind of like this interesting two stories that Dennis Camp's telling. He's flipping back and forth. And so I think that being able to balance that at a really high level, it must be hard to do, but Dennis Camp is definitely up to the task. Some great emotional moments, some great action sequences too. I think that Bleeding Hearts with issue 6, like issue 1 and 2, I was loving it. Maybe like 3 and 4, it was okay, it was good. I would say you're getting back up to that issue 1 and 2 kind of vibe that I was loving. Heavy on the emotional aspects to it. I think that's kind of what this one did for me. So great way to close out the first arc. This trade paperback should be a banger if you guys are waiting for that. Couple more reviews to do. Let's talk about Die Loaded issue number 7. If you guys are not caught up on the world of Die, it's so sick, man. And at the end of issue 6, crazy cliffhanger. But look at the artwork as I'm flipping, man. Zoom out a little bit. This is one of the most beautiful books on Stan. Stephanie Hans, her use of colors, like it's just perfect, man. It's really cool stuff. It's a really fun fantasy world that Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans has created. So it's always fun being in the world of Die and just seeing how the story progresses. There's all sorts of cliffhangers. Kieran Gillen is one of my favorite comic book writers, and this is just another great series in his belt. Another great cliffhanger at the end there. Die Loaded number 7. I'm glad it's back from its hiatus, but take all the time you need. That's great stuff there. And then let's close out this new comic weekly by talking about Justice League Unlimited issue number 20. I guess I would say this is getting back to that first arc, that first 2 arcs maybe, before they got into all their crossovers and you kind of lost me. It really just is a group of heroes, a group of Justice League members on a mission, right? So this one, we're having 2 missions. We're getting kind of the back and forth. And so I thought that Mark Waid was able to kind of get back into that bag, right? Where it kind of feels more like the show, where it's just like an episode of heroes going on the mission. And so we have the Brainiac Queen kind of elements getting spun back up. The Justice League Unlimited team, they're trying to handle it on the Watchtower before she breaks out and gets back to Earth. And at the same time, Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific are dealing with an alien planet that just unleashed a bunch of superpower. Like, they all have the powers of the Justice League now. So they're dealing with that out in space. And so you have, yeah, it's just getting back to what I loved and what I was hoping they would get back to in the Justice League Unlimited series. Of course, it never hurts when you have Dan Mora doing the artwork as the assisting storyteller here, in addition to Mark Waid. So yeah, really great stuff. I'm excited to see where this series continues. This one is getting back. Like I'm saying, it's getting back to what I was loving initially. So you might not be getting cut off the pull list. You might have a couple more issues in you. Justice League Unlimited. But that's everything I wanted to cover for New Comic Weekly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Every single Sunday at 11 a.m., that's when I go live and I chat with the community. We get into the pull list, the collected editions, the FOCs, and the week's previous reviews. Thank you guys for watching and read more comics. All right. I'm going to stop recording there. Let's catch up with the chat. I've been going for about 2 hours. And, oh shit, dude. I forgot to say fucking, all right, hold on. I got to record this real quick. Hold on. And of course, the happiest of early birthdays as I'm recording this to Croc Comics. Hopefully you have a good birthday. And, yeah. He asked for a birthday, guys. He asked for a birthday shout out. You know what I mean? So, all right. All right, let's get into... Oh, what the hell? My thing just fell down. You guys probably didn't notice it that much, but... What? I have all these, like, arms that, like, hold the cameras up. It just fell down. That's okay. All right, let's, Week of Bangers. Who says say it? Say what? Oh, say it for the spoiler. I forgot. I'm a dummy. Lisa says I gotta go soon. That last page. Lisa says no. Let's see. Give me Rascal Randy X Iron Man would be so fire. Rascal Randy cross Iron Man. Pretty sad issue. To be expected from a Lemire book though. That's true. You know this book was gonna hit us if it's a Lemire book. That's a good point. Absolutely diabolical work by Martin. Diabolical work by Martin. You're probably talking about... Are you talking about Frank Martin's coloring for Daredevil, perhaps? Are we big fans of Frank Martin? Oh. Diabolical work. Probably on... Maybe you're talking about Absolute Batman. He had some great coloring there, too. Clayface Celebrity Dirt was one of my favorite reads from this week, and a big surprise too. That's what the hype. Yeah, I've got some comments on this stream. In fact, people talking about Celebrity Dirt, so maybe I missed out on that one. Martin Stein, brother, that's a good point. They're talking about Frank Martin, the colorist. You know, Martin Stein. That is diabolical, dude. Like that like extra wrinkle in the character makes him like evil as shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's some. Like what's gonna be the end of this series is like, it doesn't sound like they're gonna return back to... Maybe that's what, bro. Maybe that's the end of the series, is Ronnie Raymond getting full control over the Firestorm entity, and it's like the Firestorm entity and Ronnie balancing it out, and like, you know what I mean? Like he's becoming free of Martin Stein's control and evilness and like the way that he was manipulated and. The lady, she used the word groomed. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that could be an interesting twist at the end of this Firestorm series if it's Jeff Lemire saying, no, dude, the whole point of this series was for me to separate Ronnie Raymond, because I always thought that what happened to him was wrong. So maybe that's what Jeff Lemire is trying to do with the series. Could be. Could be. Elliot says, I just read issue 3. I've been reading digitally. I have been liking it. I'm looking forward to picking up both Firestorm and JLU in trades, especially if JLU isn't crossover stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop crossing over JLU. Just do your Justice League Unlimited thing, man. And that's what we're going to be picking it up for. Stop doing the crossovers. You'll lose us. Lamp Offender. Ooh, I like that. Listen. Maybe your boy could be writing some No, I'm just kidding. I have no interest in writing comics. What's Up says Amazing LARP. Unfortunately, Amazing LARP, I know you just joined, but that's it. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. Of course, every single Sunday, like I'm saying, at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going live with the audience to talk about all of this comic book goodness. Had some nice conversations with you guys in the chat, so I really appreciate it. And yeah, with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you next week.